The people of Earth had always heard stories of life in space, but no one truly believed they would see it in their lifetime. For centuries, humanity had looked up at the stars, wondering if anyone out there was watching. Little did they know, someone had been watching them, and now those watchers were getting closer. The Zarkun Empire, a powerful and ruthless alien race, had expanded through the galaxy for hundreds of years, conquering planet after planet. To them, Earth was just another target, a small planet with resources to take and people to control. Humans, they thought, would be easy to scare and even easier to rule. The Zarkans were confident. They had technology beyond what they believed humans could ever dream of. They had traveled farther, fought more battles, and won more victories than any species known to the galaxy. But as the Zarkans started moving closer to Earth's borders, the leaders of Earth took notice. The first sign was small, almost unnoticeable, a Zarkun probe gliding past Mars collecting information. A few scientists reported strange signals, data that didn't match anything they had seen before. Some experts suspected alien activity, but most people ignored it, believing it was just a glitch or a mistake. Then, strange sightings began. Pilots reported unknown objects zooming through the skies faster than anything made by humans. In remote areas, mysterious lights flickered at night. People grew curious, but no one could confirm what was happening. Meanwhile, the Zarkuns sent spies down to Earth, disguised as humans, to learn more about this primitive planet. They collected information, studying Earth's governments, cities, and people. Every spy sent back reports to the Zarkun commanders, detailing Earth's strengths and weaknesses. Back on Earth, leaders were starting to realize something was very wrong. Nations, usually divided by politics and power struggles, now found themselves coming together. They held secret meetings, hidden from the public, trying to understand the threat they faced. For the first time in history, world leaders stood united. Scientists and experts gathered information, while military advisors shared plans. Their fear grew with every piece of new information, every report that suggested the aliens were closer than ever before. In one secret meeting, an old general who had long suspected that one day Earth might face visitors from space stood up and revealed something shocking. Years ago, he explained, Earth had started building a hidden defense system. It was called the Armada, a fleet of powerful ships kept secret even from most world leaders. These ships were designed with advanced technology, hidden on moons and among asteroids, waiting for a day when Earth would need to defend itself. Most leaders in the room had never heard of it. Their surprise quickly turned to relief, and then to determination. "We have to be ready," the general warned. "The Zarkans think we're weak, but they have no idea what we're capable of." With this new knowledge, Earth's leaders made a decision. They would wait and watch, gathering information, preparing for the worst. The Armada would remain hidden for now, but it was no longer a secret among the leaders. They knew that if the Zarkans took one more step closer, if they crossed the line again, Earth would have to show them that humanity was not defenseless. As Earth's leaders prepared in secret, the people went on with their lives, unaware of the danger creeping closer. They didn't know that alien eyes were watching their every move, or that a great battle might soon break out in the skies above them. But Earth was ready, and if the Zarkans dared to cross the line, they would face a force they never expected. An armada built not only to protect Earth, but to send a message to the galaxy, humanity was ready to defend itself. The peaceful days on Earth came to a sudden halt when the Zarkan Empire made their first aggressive move. While Earth leaders worked in secret to prepare for the unknown threat, the Zarkuns decided to test their power. They targeted a small human colony located on a distant moon called Artemis V. This colony was a place of research and exploration, home to scientists and families who had moved away from Earth to study the universe. They had no idea that they were about to become the first victims in a brutal alien invasion. One bright morning, as the sun rose over Artemis V, life seemed normal. Children played outside, and researchers conducted experiments in their labs. Suddenly, alarms began to sound. The sky darkened as Zarkun ships, sleek and menacing, appeared out of nowhere. They were equipped with powerful weapons and advanced technology, far beyond what the colonists had ever seen. Panic spread through the colony as people rushed to gather their families and seek shelter. Inside the colony's command center, Commander Sarah Larkin watched in horror as the Zarkan ships unleashed a wave of fire on the unsuspecting colonists. She had been warned of the Zarkan threat, but no one expected an attack so soon. "We need to evacuate!" she shouted, her voice steady despite the chaos. Her team sprang into action, sending out messages to nearby outposts for help and organizing the evacuation of families. The Zarkans landed their ships with precision, surrounding the colony and cutting off any chance of escape. Commander Larkin knew time was running out. She gathered her team and devised a plan. "We can't let them take our people," she said fiercely. "We have to fight back, even if it means risking our lives." Her determination inspired her team, and they prepared to defend their home. As the Zarkans stormed the colony, they expected to find easy prey. The aliens had come with superior numbers and technology, convinced that humans would cower in fear. But they underestimated Earth's resolve. Commander Larkin and her team set traps and laid out defensive positions. Using the knowledge they had gathered over the years, they prepared to defend their home with everything they had. The first skirmish was fierce. As the Zarkan troops invaded the colony, they were met with surprising resistance. Humans, armed with makeshift weapons and the will to protect their families, fought back bravely. Despite being outgunned, the colonists worked together, utilizing their surroundings to their advantage. They took down several Zarkan soldiers, sending a clear message: Earth would not go down without a fight. Back on Earth, the news of the attack spread quickly. People were glued to their screens, watching the horror unfold. Families gathered in homes and schools, praying for the safety of their loved ones. The leaders in the command center felt a heavy weight on their shoulders. They had to act fast. They couldn't let the Zarkans take control of the moon. It would be a major blow to Earth's safety and morale. As the battle raged on Artemis V, the Zarkans began to realize that humans were not as weak as they had thought. They quickly started to lose ground against the fierce defense. Commander Larkin saw an opening and ordered her team to counterattack. They fought valiantly, driving the aliens back, but the Zarkans were relentless, sending wave after wave of troops. In the chaos, a message was sent from Artemis V back to Earth. Commander Larkin's voice rang clear through the communication channels. "We are under attack! We need help! The Zarkans will not stop until they take us all!" Her plea echoed through the hearts of every Earthling. Back in the command center, the leaders exchanged determined looks. This was the moment they had been preparing for. "Activate the Armada!" a leader shouted. The decision was made. Earth would reveal its secret weapon. The time for waiting was over. The Zarkans had crossed the line, and now humanity would respond with strength. As the first ships of the Armada powered up and launched into space, the fate of Artemis V and all of Earth hung in the balance. The Zarkans would soon face a force they had never expected, a united humanity ready to defend their home. As the sun set on Artemis V, the battle continued to rage. Commander Sarah Larkin and her team fought bravely against the Zarkan forces, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. Desperate for help, she sent a final message to Earth, urging them to send reinforcements. Just as the situation seemed hopeless, the leaders back on Earth made a monumental decision. It was time to reveal their secret: the Armada. In the depths of a hidden command center on Earth, a team of engineers and military leaders worked quickly. The Armada was no ordinary fleet. It was a collection of powerful warships designed to defend humanity in its darkest hours. Built in secrecy for many years, these ships were equipped with advanced technology and weapons that could rival the Zarkun Empire. The leaders knew they had to act fast before it was too late. "Prepare the Armada for launch!" shouted Admiral Grace Moore, her voice filled with urgency. The engineers worked quickly, powering up the ships and readying them for battle. One by one, the massive vessels awakened from their slumber, their systems coming online with bright lights and deep, resonating hums. They were a sight to behold, a testament to humanity's strength and ingenuity. As the Armada was readied for launch, the leaders of Earth communicated with Commander Larkin. "Help is on the way," they assured her. "The Armada is coming to Artemis V." On the surface of the moon, the colonists fought with everything they had. The Zarkuns were relentless, pushing forward and trying to break through the defenses. But just as hope began to fade, a new message crackled through the airwaves. "The Armada has launched!" Commander Larkin's heart raced as she heard the news. With renewed determination, she rallied her team. "Hold the line! Help is coming!" she shouted. The colonists fought harder, their spirits lifted by the promise of reinforcements. The Armada soared through space, each ship moving with precision and power. They were sleek, with gleaming metal and sharp angles that cut through the darkness of space. Each vessel was armed with powerful energy weapons and shields that glowed with a vibrant blue light. As they approached Artemis V, the Armada looked like a force of nature, ready to unleash its fury on the Zarkun invaders. As the ships entered the atmosphere of Artemis V, the colonists could see them in the sky. They were huge, casting shadows over the battlefield. The Zarkun forces paused for a moment, stunned by the sight of the incoming fleet. They had expected an easy victory, but now they faced a challenge they had never anticipated. Admiral Moore commanded the fleet with confidence. "Engage the enemy!" she ordered, her voice calm and steady. The Armada responded, opening fire on the Zarkun ships with a barrage of energy blasts. The sky lit up with explosions, and the sounds of battle echoed throughout the moon. The Zarkun troops, once so sure of their victory, were thrown into chaos. Many of their ships were damaged or destroyed as the Armada struck with precision and power. Commander Larkin watched in awe as the tide of battle began to turn. The colonists, now reinforced by the Armada, fought with renewed strength and courage. "Push forward!" Commander Larkin yelled, leading her team into battle alongside the Armada. The combination of human bravery and advanced technology was a sight to behold. Earth was no longer a target, it was a force to be reckoned with. As the battle intensified, the Zarkun commanders realized they were losing control. They had underestimated humanity, and now they were paying the price. The once feared alien invaders found themselves retreating, their ships fleeing from the relentless assault of the Armada. Back on Earth, people watched the battle unfold on their screens, cheering for their brave soldiers and the powerful ships of the Armada. Hope surged through humanity as they realized they were not alone. They had a force capable of defending their planet, and they were ready to fight for their freedom. As the last Zarkun ships began to retreat into the depths of space, the Armada stood strong. They had sent a clear message to the galaxy: humanity would not be intimidated. Earth was ready to defend itself, and the Armada was just the beginning. With Artemis V safe for now, Commander Larkin looked up at the Armada, her heart filled with pride. Together, they had turned the tide against a powerful enemy. But she knew this was just the first battle in a much larger war. The Zarkuns would return, and when they did, Earth would be ready. As the dust settled on Artemis V, a tense silence filled the air. The Zarkun forces had retreated for now, but everyone knew this was just the calm before the storm. Commander Sarah Larkin stood on the battlefield, her heart racing with anticipation. The Armada had proven its might, but the Zarkuns were relentless, and they would not give up easily. Back on Earth, leaders gathered in the command center, watching the screens that displayed the moon's surface. "We need to prepare for their return," Admiral Grace Moore declared. "We cannot let our guard down. The Zarkuns will come back stronger." The room buzzed with urgency as plans were laid out to defend Earth and its colonies. On Artemis V, the colonists and the Armada worked together to rebuild what had been damaged during the attack. They reinforced defenses and made sure everyone was ready for the next wave. Commander Larkin knew that they needed to be smart and strategic. "We must anticipate their moves," she said to her team. "We have to think like them." Days passed, and the tension grew. Then one morning, the sky darkened again. A fleet of Zarkun ships appeared, larger and more powerful than before. This time, they had come prepared for battle. The Zarkun commander, a towering figure with sharp features and a cruel smile, was determined to crush humanity's spirit once and for all. "Prepare for battle!" Commander Larkin shouted, her voice firm and clear. The colonists scrambled to their positions, and the Armada's ships moved into formation. The time for action had come. The fate of Artemis V, and perhaps Earth itself, hung in the balance. As the two forces faced each other, the tension was palpable. The Zarkun commander signaled for his troops to advance, and the battle began. Energy blasts lit up the sky, and the sound of explosions echoed across the moon. The Zarkun ships charged forward, their weapons blazing. The Armada responded with equal force. "Fire at will!" Admiral Moore commanded. The ships unleashed a storm of energy blasts, illuminating the darkening sky. The first shots collided, sending shock waves through the atmosphere. The battle was on, and both sides fought with everything they had. On the ground, Commander Larkin led her team into action. "We must hold the line!" she shouted. The colonists fought fiercely, using their knowledge of the terrain to outmaneuver the alien invaders. They set up traps and ambushes, catching the Zarkun forces off guard. Each colonist fought bravely, driven by the need to protect their home. The battle raged on, and both sides suffered losses. Zarkun ships exploded in fiery blasts, but they also managed to strike back. One of the Armada's ships took a direct hit, and the crew fought valiantly to keep it afloat. The tension grew as the two forces clashed in a deadly dance of strategy and firepower. As the battle wore on, the Zarkun commander realized he had underestimated humanity. The colonists and the Armada worked together like a well-oiled machine, coordinating their attacks and supporting each other. "We must change tactics!" he roared, but his orders were met with chaos. The Zarkuns were no longer the fearsome force they once were. They were now losing ground to the determination of Earth's fighters. In the thick of the battle, Commander Larkin found herself face-to-face with a Zarkun soldier. They exchanged blows, each fighting for their side. She felt adrenaline coursing through her veins as she dodged the alien's strikes. With a swift motion, she disarmed her opponent, sending him sprawling to the ground. It was a small victory, but it fueled her resolve to fight on. The skies above Artemis V were filled with streaks of light as the battle continued. Ships danced around each other, firing and dodging, while the ground forces engaged in fierce hand-to-hand combat. Each moment was a test of courage and skill. Finally, as the sun began to set, the tide of battle began to shift. The Zarkun forces, overwhelmed by the coordinated efforts of the colonists and the Armada, started to falter. Commander Larkin saw the opportunity and shouted, "Now! Push forward!" With a roar of determination, the colonists surged ahead, pushing the Zarkuns back. The Armada supported them from the air, raining down fire upon the retreating enemy. The Zarkuns began to realize that they were not invincible, that Earth had come together to fight for its future. As the first stars twinkled in the sky, the Zarkun commander ordered a full retreat. They fled into the depths of space, their arrogance shattered. The battlefield was silent except for the cheers of the colonists and the crew of the Armada. They had won the day, but everyone knew the war was far from over. Commander Larkin stood tall, looking at her team and the Armada ships overhead. "Today we showed them what humanity is capable of," she said, pride swelling in her heart. They had fought against all odds, and they had emerged victorious. But in the shadows of space, the Zarkun Empire was planning its next move. The battle for Earth had only just begun. The battle on Artemis V had come to a close, but the aftermath was a whirlwind of emotions. Commander Sarah Larkin stood among the remnants of the battlefield, her heart filled with both pride and exhaustion. The colonists had fought bravely, and the Armada had proven to be a formidable ally. They had pushed back the Zarkun forces, but the war was far from over. As the sun rose, its golden rays illuminated the moon's surface, revealing the damage from the fierce battle. Burned structures and debris littered the ground, but amidst the destruction there were signs of life and hope. The colonists began to gather, helping each other and tending to the wounded. They were a resilient group, united by their shared struggle. Back on Earth, the news of their victory spread like wildfire. People cheered and celebrated in the streets, proud of their brave soldiers and the powerful Armada. However, in the command center, Admiral Grace Moore was serious and focused. "We need to send a message," she said to her team. "The Zarkuns must know that Earth will not be an easy target." Meanwhile, Commander Larkin and her team assessed the situation on Artemis V. They had won the battle, but the threat from the Zarkun Empire loomed large. "We need to fortify our defenses," she said, addressing her team. "They will come back and we must be ready." The colonists nodded in agreement, determination shining in their eyes. As they worked, news arrived from Earth. The leaders had decided to send a communication to the Zarkun Empire, a bold move that would demonstrate humanity's resolve. Admiral Moore prepared a message that would echo across the stars. It was time to show the galaxy that Earth was not to be trifled with. The message was crafted with precision and strength. It stated, "To the Zarkun Empire we warn you, Earth stands united. Your forces have been defeated, but we will not forget your aggression. Should you return, you will face the full might of humanity. We will defend our home and our people at any cost." With the message ready, the leaders transmitted it into space, where it would reach the Zarkun ships lurking in the dark. They knew this was a gamble, but it was necessary. Earth had to show its strength and willingness to fight. As the days passed, the atmosphere on Artemis V shifted. The colonists felt a new sense of purpose. They were no longer just survivors, they were warriors. Training began immediately, with the Armada assisting in preparing the colonists for any future confrontations. Commander Larkin led the training sessions, pushing her team to be faster, stronger, and smarter. The sky above Artemis V was now a symbol of hope. The Armada patrolled the area, their powerful ships standing as guardians. Each day brought new challenges, but the colonists faced them head-on. They built new defenses and improved their technology, knowing they had to be ready for the Zarkans' inevitable return. Meanwhile, back on Earth, people were inspired by the bravery of the colonists. A movement grew, urging the leaders to invest in the military and research. People from all walks of life joined in, believing in the cause of defending their home. They were united by a shared vision to protect Earth from any threat that dared to approach. One evening, as Commander Larkin looked at the stars, she felt a mix of hope and worry. She knew the Zarkans would come back, but she also believed in the strength of humanity. They had shown that they could stand against even the most formidable foes. "We will be ready," she whispered to herself, determination settling in her heart. Then, the long-awaited message from the Zarkan Empire arrived. It was filled with anger and threats, but it also revealed their fear. They had suffered losses and were not ready for another confrontation. The Zarkan commander warned, "We will return with a vengeance, and you will pay for this humiliation." Commander Larkin and Admiral Moore shared a knowing glance. The Zarkans had revealed their intentions, and it only solidified Earth's resolve. "Let them come," Moore replied. "We will stand united." Earth is not a target, it is a fortress. The battle for Earth had begun, and humanity was prepared to fight for their future. With courage in their hearts and strength in their spirits, they looked to the stars, ready to defend their home against whatever came next. The warning had been sent, and the world would never be the same again.